morning. Welcome back to my channel. This is Judy. I hope everyone's having a beautiful Saturday. Here in Arkansas, I think it's supposed to be in the 60s. It's kind of cool still, but it's sunshine. It's beautiful. So today I'm making a corn casserole, like for a Thanksgiving side. And I think it's going to be delicious. I've never made this before. But the first thing I did is I had bought this dried corn. It's organic dried corn from JoJo's Organics. She's on Amazon. And so I bought a big bag, and then I ground up my own corn to make cornmeal. So it's not as bright yellow. There's still a yellow color to it, but it's not as bright as what you buy like in a Jiffy box. Because that's what the original recipe uses, is Jiffy cornbread mix. But I'm going to use what I ground up out of this organic corn. So, to the bowl here, we're going to add 2/3 cup of all-purpose flour. Because I'm making this by scratch instead of, like I said, instead of using a box corn mix. And then we're going to add 1/3 cup of the yellow cornmeal. And I just ground it up, I guess, kind of fine, I guess. Then we're going to add our baking powder. So 1 tablespoon of baking powder. There we go. Put that aside. Okay, now we're going to add 1/4 teaspoon of salt. Now I'm going to use Himalayan pink salt. So we're going to add 1/4 teaspoon of that. Put it back on here. And I buy my pink Himalaya salt from Azure Standard, but you can find it at the grocery store too. And now we're going to add some sugar. I'm not going to make it overly sweet. The recipe calls for 3 tablespoons. I just don't want that much sugar. And I'm going to use, let me scoot this over. I'm going to use cane sugar. It's got a kind of a golden color to it. So we're going to use this. So I'm going to do 1 tablespoon because I don't want it overly sweet because the corn's sweet. The cream style corn is sweet. Okay. And that is all of the dry ingredients. So we're just going to whisk this up just a little. Okay. Now we're going to do the wet ingredients. So I'll set that aside. Okay, now we're going to do the wet ingredients. So to this bowl, I'm going to add 1 can of sweet corn, drained. I drained all the liquid out. Let's get all that corn out of there. And then 1 can of cream style corn. Now you can double this recipe to make a bigger batch. I'm just making it to see how it turns out for Ed and I. Because we don't need, at Thanksgiving I'll probably, if I really like it, I'll, add more to it. Now the recipe calls for 1 cup of sour cream, but I'm going to change that up a little bit, and I'm going to put 1/2 cup of sour cream. Okay, scrape that out. And this is just right. This is whole milk sour cream. But I guess you could use the lower fat if you wanted to. And then I'm also using 1/2 of 8-ounce package of cream cheese. And it's room temperature. So we're going to put that in there. Okay, and then I'm going to put some butter in here. I'm going to mix this up just a little bit and get this cream cheese going. Okay. All right, now I'm adding 1 stick, which is 1/2 cup, of unsalted butter. So this is unsalted butter because I put salt in it. If you wanted to use salted butter, then leave out the 1/4 teaspoon of salt, because you don't need that much. And this is basically all there is to it. We're going to add it to the dry ingredients. I have an 8x8 square dish. And if you're going to, then I'm going to bake it in. You can do it in a 13x9. Just, double the recipe because it won't, fill up that 13x9 pan. Okay, now to this, I'm going to add one more thing. You can add all kinds of stir-ins. If you want to add in green chilies, I have some, but they're really hot. And I'm like, I don't want it really, really hot. But I've decided to add in 1 cup of bacon. Now this bacon is already cooked. I had it in the freezer. And this is not going to bake that long, so I think if you cook it, it's probably better. Oh my gosh, this is going to be so good. Okay. All right, now let's add our dry ingredients. We'll just do a little bit at a time. Get it mixed up. And I know my mom, I think my mom made this when we were kids, and she definitely used the Jiffy cornbread mix for a lot of stuff. But okay, so the rest, and we're just gonna mix the rest of this just till it's mixed. We don't want to over mix it. Okay, just until the dry ingredients is incorporated. Okay. All right, let's get our dish over here. And I have greased it with, I used avocado oil spray, but you can use butter, you can use whatever you have. And I need my spatula so I can scrape it. Okay. And then you're going to bake this at 350 for about 20 minutes, and then you're going to take it out or put cheese on it. Hold on a second. Let me get this out of here. Oh my gosh, look at that. So yeah, if you doubled this recipe, you would make a lot. This actually makes a lot. Okay, let's spread this out. Okay. Okay, so what we're going to do is we're going to cover this with foil. If you have a container with a lid, that's great, but this one doesn't have a lid. So I'm going to cover it with foil. Okay, and we're going to bake it for 20 minutes at 350. And then I'm going to uncover it and bake it till it's golden brown. And then we're going to add cheese on top of that, and then we'll bake it for another 5 minutes. Okay, I've got it in my Emerald air fryer oven on the baking function and at 350, and it's going to bake for 20 minutes with the foil on, and then I'm going to take the foil off and bake it again for 20 to 25 minutes or until the corn on top is golden brown, and then we'll take it out and I'll bring you back and we're going to put some shredded cheddar cheese, like a white cheddar cheese, on top, and then bake it for another 5 minutes or so until the cheese is melted. So I will bring you back. Okay, so here it is. It's beautiful. It smells really good. So I baked it 20 minutes at 350 with the foil on, took the foil off, baked it for 26 minutes instead of 25, just so it could get more golden. And now we're going to add our cheese. So I've shredded some white cheddar cheese. You could use yellow cheddar cheese, whatever kind you like. This is, I think it's from Sam's Club, and it's the Irish Kerrygold, like their butter. They have Kerrygold, and this is a Dubliner, what they call Dubliner, which is a white, it's a hard cheese, so it shreds really nice. So we're going to put this cheese on here, and then we're just going to put it back in until the cheese is melted. So you're not going to cook it for a long time because it's done. Oh my gosh, this is going to be so good. So this will make a great Thanksgiving side, or anytime, but I've got Thanksgiving in mind because we're going to go to our brother and sister-in-laws. And I think I'm going to take this. But you could definitely add green chilies. You could add the bacon like I did. Basically whatever you want to add, I guess, to it. But okay, now we're going to put this back in the oven. Probably 5 or 6 minutes, just until the cheese melts at 350. Okay, I decided to throw on some of that bacon, that cooked crumbled bacon on top. Oh my gosh, this looks so good. So I will bring you back when this is cool, and we'll do a little taste test. Okay, we're going to do a little taste test. Take it out with a spoon. It creates a little crust on there, which is good. That way you can cut it in squares. You're serving it, and that cheese, oh, look at that. Oh, it's moist. It's creamy and moist. Well, let's do a taste test. That cheese, it's pretty stringy. Let's go. Oh my. That's delicious. This cheddar cheese, you might want to use a softer cheese, but this is, I mean, it tastes great. Mmm. With that bacon, there we go. Cut it harder. Well, that's really good. Cream cheese and the bacon. Cheese is a little hard to cut, but that's because of the kind of cheese it is. It's a hard cheese. Oh my gosh, that is so good. You're gonna love it. You don't have to put the bacon in, like I said, but who doesn't like bacon? That's delicious. Okay, so I appreciate you watching my video. I hope you try this. It's a pretty popular recipe. And I've got some more Thanksgiving sides coming up, along with some more bakery ideas, pies, and whatnot. So give me a thumbs up, and so make sure you subscribe so you don't miss any videos coming up. And I will catch you in my next video. Bye.